This is a picture of the mountains surrounding Lake Sabrina. We are camping in Sabrina Creek Park. It is absolutely gorgeous. The mountains are just beautiful surrounding us. We have just absolutely an excellent sight. Ian caught the first
Lake
fish
Sabrina
this morning.
is about 20 miles outside of Bishop, California, and Bishop, California is about 350 miles from home.
Okay, there's Barney, and we're all set up in our little tent trailer, and there's James and Ian getting ready, and we have this pretty little meadow around us, and we'll take a panoramic shot of the meadow. And
that's a picture of me and my little $100 motor scooter that got picked up out of a junkyard. Runs great. We call it Barney because it is purple and black.
it's open and it's full of sunshine, and yet we got shade. I understand that the wind comes up here in the afternoon. That'll be nice and a little breeze through here. Now, what do you mean I got skunked? Just because I didn't catch any fish? All right, the score today is Ian is 2, James is 1, Charlene is 1, and Chuck is 0. So other than that, we're just having a marvelous day. Okay, guys? Everybody smile. Ha ha.
The fishing in and around the Lake Sabrina area, the streams and everything, just full of trout. We had a marvelous time. Everybody caught fish.
Okay, what we have here, folks, is a prehistoric bird called an Ian crane going down the middle of the stream. Some of them went into the water. I can't believe that. Colder than hell out here. There it is, that prehistoric crane that I was talking about. This is a very rare bird. I mean, it is a cold, wet bird, but it is heading upstream towards us, and I have it on film. Nobody will believe this. How cold is that water?
Oh, pretty cold.
Okay, we're above Rock Creek Lake, and it's just a magnificent day. Snow's still on the mountaintops, and this is Rock Creek Lake. Not a big lake, but it's pretty big for the area around here. Just gorgeous. James and Charlene caught 2 fish, and I got skunked. Now there's a note for you. What we have here is a bunch of wild fishermen and 1 crazy woman, but we won't say who the crazy woman is. But it looks like Ian's got a stringer of fish there. Ian, show me the fish. James has got 5, Ian's got 4, Charlene's got 2, and I got 3, and that's the way it is today. Hey guys, have a good day. Well, good morning. I don't want. Today is June 22nd, and there is Mrs. Hale and Ian, and having breakfast outside, and it is sunshiny and warm. And what a.
From Bishop, California, we went to the Great Basin National Park in Nevada.
We're at Great Basin National Park Visitor Center, and we're about to take a walk through a cave, a 1-hour hike through a cave. Got to dress warm.
And of course, as it uplifted, it created a whole bunch of cracks in the mountains, the north and south trending mountain ranges that were uplifting, one of which you are standing under, the Snake Range.
This is referred to as a drapery here. There's rock coming down like a curtain. Picture of people going through the cave.
My little grandson is turning into a good cook, and he knows how to do it too.
Now there's the chief cook and bottle washer on this trip, and she's just having a good time in her little kitchen all by herself. And Ian is over here watching TV and having a good time, and I'm playing on the computer and I'm having a good time. So, what a wonderful evening. What's the name of this mine? Kennecott Copper Mine. And this is the largest copper mine in the world, or one of the largest copper. And this is a huge open pit. It's a couple miles across.
And a half a mile deep.
How deep is it, Ian?
Half a mile.
Half a mile deep. You can see down in there, and I'm going into full telescopic lens here, which makes it jumpy. But these are just huge, huge trucks like we saw in Alaska last year. Some of the tires are probably 9 feet high.
They go all by themselves.
Gives an idea of the benches that they're grinding out here in each level. Busy place here. Hey, there's a gives you an idea of the size of that tire. Dorothea's 5'7". That tire's got to be about 9 foot tall.
On to Salt Lake City and a visit to the Mormon temple in Salt Lake City. Quite interesting.
We're in a building across the street from the temple on the 10th floor looking down. And this is the Mormon temple, and the building behind it is where the Mormon Tabernacle choir sings, and we're going to go listen to a children's practice session. And this is the city of Salt Lake. And it's a big city, bustling, full of people, and lots of things to do. Okay, we're outside the temple here. And there's a statue at the top. See if we can get it here. There we go. This is inside one of the churches here, the Mormon temple. Very, very pretty, a lot of beautiful woodwork. It's late in the evening, 29th of June. We're in Dinosaur National Monument. Those are thunderclouds. It's cooled off a little bit. It's late in about 7 in the evening. We're in a very rugged territory, but very picturesque mountains here surrounding our campsite. We're on the edge of the Green River, and let's see if I can get a little bit better close-up of those mountains, because they are kind of rugged looking. There we go. And there's no water in the campground, so we get to camp down here for free, and fortunately we are completely self-contained with the travel trailer. And let's see, where is our campsite? Oh yeah, here we go. We're all set up. Because of the warmth, everything is open. Air conditioner doesn't work, but it seems to be reasonably cool inside. And if we need electricity, we have the generator on the back so we can... What we have here are crickets. The road is just literally covered with it, the highway. I'm going to take a shot out of the front windshield, which is dirty, and maybe we can see how they just literally cover the highway. I mean, they're just full all the way up there.
They go up to this mountain.
Our best guess is that this dirt road going down the hill is Echo Park Road, and we're going to attempt that. 13 miles down into this valley, and the valley is just full of beautiful rock formations and bright red and green and plateaus. We're going to give it a shot. A couple hikers that were working our way along Harper's Trail out to a point and an overlook. Everybody's got their pretty walking sticks. We're nearing the tip of Harper's Overlook, and we can see the river and the canyons down below us here. And I want to shoot down in there and see the river down below there. But it's a lot of wild, rugged looking canyons. Look at that. Anyway, we're on our way out. We're on a point on Harper's Plateau, or Harper's Point, or whatever you want. And from this point, there's these metal railings. You can actually look down on both sides of the point, and it is a long, long ways down to the river below. And that's an estimated 2,000 foot drop there. And I have not put it on high DLSC. If we do that, I think you can see some of the rapids there. And that is the Green River. Now on the other side of this point is the Yampa River. And the two of them come together somewhere below us where we're unable to see the connection. This is the Yampa side of the point, and the river down below us, again, like I said, about 2,000 feet. We saw some river rafters going down it. Very few places looked like it was rapids, so it looks like a slow, easy stream to go down. It's interesting, the rock formations, how they twist up like that. Get an idea of the cliffs that we're standing on and the point that we've come out on. It's very hot, I'd say in the upper 80s. Cool in the shade. I got about a 1.5 2 mile hike to get back to the car. We're going to go take a look at some of these petrographs that are on the carved on the stone. There goes Mrs. Hale down.
These are digital photographs that turned out quite well. These are the petrographs down in the canyon, and it was quite an interesting experience and very educational for Ian.
Whether I'm going to get this either, but we're going to zoom up close there and see if we can see it right there. Yeah, it's showing up on the film. I can't tell you what type of creature it looks like something with wings. This is just to show the road down into Echo Park. And we were deep down in these cliffs, in this valley, extremely rough road. But we're moving along at probably about 15 miles an hour, so we'll make it there in another few minutes anyway. The distance was a total of 13 miles. We're on the Yampa River, and this is river rafting groups, different groups. We just talked to a couple that are on their 4th day of a 5-day trip down here. A lot of people are preparing to, looks like, for departure here. Fascinating. And this is what we saw from the cliffs up on the other mesa, looking down into this. Yeah. Everybody's getting ready, getting their life preserver. Ian's going into a very narrow cave. Ian, come on back.
You can feel like wind coming out from over here.
Yeah, I can feel it standing right here.
You
know, feels cold.
To stand here. Ian has froze. Ian, oh.
We're in front of the dinosaur quarry, and we're going to go inside and take a look at all the bones that they've been digging up. What we have here is an overhead crane with a basket, so they're able to work on this dig by raising the crane below like that. Now the area inside here they have stopped work on. They're not going to excavate. It just shows how they did it. But up behind here there is still some active excavation sites. But it's interesting to see some of these bone structures and stuff that's embedded in the sandstone. At one time was mud. It's a complete vertebrae there. Here's some bones that they've surrounded and protected. All we're looking here is a leg bone. Ian, come back around here, please.
I want to just get you right next to show your mom.
And that's the paw down there. Almost a complete skeleton there.
That guy's Look, Mom. No.
Get a close up to this thing. That's a long tail on that son of a gun. two-legged. We're now on a driving tour and we're at stop number 1, and what we have here is some petroglyphs, and I can't think of what the other one. One is paintings and one is etching. And there's some small caves up here. The signs indicate what it is that we're looking at, so we're going to walk up there. There's a live prehistoric creature hiding in the cave, and looking at all the markings on the ceiling. No idea whether this is going to show up or not, but we're going to try and get them. That looks pretty good. Down here we got some bigger ones. Hard to realize how old these things were. I believe I see a horse right there. And there's another one over here. Right there.
And look here.
This is probably
Only
out
on the
of focus,
trail.
but this shows the drawings that we just saw. There. These are all painted up on the wall. We're at the entrance of another small cave, and when I say small, these things only go back in about 10 or 15 feet, but definitely would get somebody some shelter. And if you built a little fire in there, I imagine it'd be nice and warm in stormy conditions. So this is what the Indians used. There I see the picture of a mountain sheep way up on top. And oh, look at it, it's a two-legged, no, it's a three-legged walking mountain sheep going up and over the top of the mountain. My goodness.
Ian, don't go too far.
Whoop. There he disappeared. See if we can find that mountain goat again. Oh, there he is. Plugging along. Finding his way back with his world famous walking stick. We're trying to get in a picture of this petroglyph on the rock here. I don't know whether... There it is, right there. That showed up pretty good. And Ian, you said you saw another one where?
A lot of them. How far there was that? Oh, right up there.
Oh, okay, there's a whole bunch of them up here.
Are they better for me to take a picture of you?
Starting with this one right here, there are several. I want to zoom in on some of them. Markings on the wall. Animals. And they're working on building a trail up to where we're standing, and it's still under construction, so we are not going to go any further than where we are now. All right, Ian's going up the trail. There is a pictograph up here of a lizard that is very, very famous, and I'm going to have to zoom in on it because I'm not about to walk all the way up there and take a look at it. But there it is. And what it has done is this black varnish is called, and then the Indians scratched the black away, leaving the outline of a lizard. Fascinating. We're in a natural museum in Vernal, Utah, which is near Dinosaur National Park, and they have all these models of different prehistoric animals. All right, let's see. We got, hell, I don't know what the name of these things are. But, a couple of mammals down underneath it there, and a meat eater up above them. So somebody will tell me the name of it. Okay, pterodactyl, flying mammal. That looks like a good picture of it. Oh, it worked! How about that? Well, this is Flaming Gorge. It is gorgeous countryside. A lot of long 8% grades going downhill and 8% grades going uphill, and so we've been using the low gear on ET, but it is pretty wild, beautiful countryside. A lot of heavy forest up in this area where we are shooting from. Looks more desert-like down below. Over there is the river, and we'll go take a look at that. Got a fire ring and bench underneath the tree. We set up in the middle of a rainstorm with lightning and thunder. That was exciting. But we are set for a couple of days. Just truly beautiful campground and area to spend a couple of days and just relax. Underneath the tree here, surprisingly enough, or just out to the edge of the tree, is where we're going to build our fire tonight, or at least tomorrow night. Tonight we may go into Jackson. It's the 4th of July. And barbecue and picnic table and a beautiful river. The river is probably 30-40 feet across, fairly fast moving, fairly shallow. There are fish in here. I caught a 12-inch brown and was able to release him. The joys of spending a day on a river fishing is just one of my dreams. Campsite with Barney on the back and the generator, and we're totally self-contained, and Dorothea wants her microwave. We can just turn on the old generator, and we got plenty of water with us. Just don't know anything else that we need. Alright, now we're recording a copy of the 4th of July bouquet, and these are flowers picked just around our campsite. Absolutely gorgeous, and happy 4th of July to everyone. We're out in the Tulies. We just turned up a dirt road, drove about 10 miles, discovered a campground, and then we discovered these waterfalls. And we talked to the campground host. This is the Granite Waterfall. And what is so interesting about this waterfall is it was used in the movie A River Runs Through It. So we're going to have to walk up and take a closer look at these falls. There's the leaders of this expedition, and I gotta go catch up to them. I think I have a picture of a butterfly here. Let's see if I can get it up closer here. It looks like a butterfly to me. Well, it's turned into good-sized falls, and Omi is way up there at the base of them. There they are. I'm going to go up and join them. Yeah, I'm up at the base of it. Makes a lot of noise. Now I've got to go watch the movie again. The river runs through it. See if I recognize anything. Spots here. The river's a little bit fast, but definitely looks like there'll be some fish in this area. The mountain goat. Hope that little son of that doesn't fall. Take it easy. I think he's gonna, whoop, where'd he go? There he is. I think he's gonna try and climb up above the fall. Directly up above us. And there he is. There's E.T. out in the woods. I just want to get a picture of the hillside behind us here. I mean, it's like a forest, heavy forest, but then you get up to the hilltop and it just almost looks like a golf course. It's beautiful. Dorothea has found a new yellow flower that we haven't seen before, so we got to get a picture of the yellow flower. I hope this looks pretty good. Well, I think this is Indian paintbrush, but I'm not real sure, but this makes the area just so full of color here. Unbelievable.
And that's the one Ian brought me.
Oh, hold it still, and I'll get it. Okay, here's the pictures of the flowers that Ian brought Dorothea from the top of the falls. Alright, this is Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and these are the famous antler arches. And there's my two favorite people over there. And there are the antlers.
Dorothea and I sent Ian on a river rafting trip on the Snake River, and these are photographs. That's Ian right there, getting soaking wet. But he had a lot of fun, and then we picked him up after the trip was over with.
Well, we have a lot of cars going past us at the moment, but these are the Grand Tetons, and we're gonna spend a day just exploring the mountains. Magnificent mountains. And I have been told, I have to tell you what Tetons mean. It is a French word for tits, more politely breasts. So now you know. Well, it's July 8th, and it's early in the morning. We're on our way to visit the inside of the national park at Grand Tetons. And I just pulled off the side of the highway to get another view of the sunlight on these beautiful mountains. So we're going to go in and see Jackson Lake, and we're going to see Jenny Lake. This is the dam for Jackson Lake in the Grand Tetons, and this is the runoff below the dam. Quite forceful, creating a large river, and me without a fishing license. Just a picture of Jackson Lake Dam and Reservoir sign. We'll go over and get a picture of the mountains and the reflection on the lake. We're on Jenny Lake, and above me is the Grand Teton Mountain. Elevation is 13,000 something. It's a long ways up there. There's about 5 permanent glaciers still left on that mountain from the Ice Age. Jenny Lake is quite beautiful, named after an Indian squaw. Died of black smallpox. Lost the whole entire family in a matter of a week or so. The husband, the white husband, was immune to the smallpox and survived. I'm on top of the fishing bridge in Yellowstone National Park. This is part of the Yellowstone Lake area. The bridge we're standing on, it actually is under construction, or renovation I should say, and it actually is called Fishing Bridge, though it is currently closed to fishing because it is the spawning season for the yellow cut. And he is just crossing the road and stopping traffic. How about that? Right in the middle of everything. And there he goes into the end of the bushes. Big old bison. Well, there's our buffalo, and he's scratching his head in this bush. Look at that son of a gun. And anyway, so that's our first bison, American buffalo. This is the upper Yellowstone Falls, not the one that shows the yellow rocks on each side, but the upper falls. In the far distance, you can see a bridge crossing the river. There it is, right there. Anyway, it's a ton of water coming down there. Okay, there's the famous Yellowstone Falls and the yellow rock on both sides of the canyon.
How about that? We learned a little bit about history. Yellowstone. So this is the one that looks... Well, is this the one that's twice the height of Niagara Falls then?
I didn't know that it was any higher than Niagara. Alright, this is a section of Yellowstone I've never been in before, and this is called Tower Falls. It's interesting to me that the water coming down the hill there has to be coming from the stream, and yet I saw no stream crossing the highway. So I'll be curious about that. It does go a long ways down behind those trees there. Alright, what we have is a large herd of bison. And if you look way out there in the valley, see if we can do that. That's all bison out there. They're up close here to the road also. Right down here. A little calf underneath Mama. one has some big horns on it, so I didn't even get a picture of that. Let's see here. Yeah, now man, there's some strong wind blowing. Right down the middle of the road, stopping traffic. We're on the edge of the Yellowstone Lake. Now in the distance you can see the steam rising from hot water holes or geysers along the edge of the shoreline. We're down there. And then way down here is some more. And we're off touring the Old Faithful and some of the other geysers this morning. This is called what? Blackpool?
Blackpool, yeah.
And you can see a long ways down into it. Another side of Blackpool. Got a lot of steam coming off this thing. Bubbling hot and heavy. The hottest one we've seen so far is 188 degrees, but this one may be a little bit more than that. We're going to try and find out. I say something for generations to come. There we go.
Listen to the sound.
Okay, I'll give you one of mine.
Yeah,
About 11:16.
Looks like he's ran.
You can't tell how, it's not tall anymore. It's even from 6 years ago, it's considerably
smaller.
down. Oh, yeah. Yes, and I had seen pictures before. Look how tiny it is. I mean, it's going down already. It's not deep by. Well, it was here 50 years ago.
All right, we're at Midway Geyser Basin. And last time I was here about 6 years ago, all I had was a still camera. A lot of activity up there, but it's cold and gray and overcast, so we'll see how it turns. Coming off the geyser, off the hillside, flowing into the river. The colors in the rock and the steam as it hits the cold water. The Opal Pool. And there's Opal Pool. Gosh, I wish the sun was out, because these things are gorgeous when the sun is shining. The walkway we're taking up around, looking at all the pools. I just want to get a, I don't know whether it's steam or some ground effect. Colors. Steam. That's fascinating. It's a geyser pool. I got to find out what the name of it is here shortly. Wind's really okay. This is Excelsior Geyser Crater, and that's the one I was just shooting the picture of here. And there's tons and tons of steam coming off of it. Pretty.
Using a digital camera for photography and mixing it in here with a video, the digital camera really does catch the color of the water here in Yellowstone. Quite beautiful. Anyway, so much for using a digital camera.
Cody Museum in Cody, Wyoming. It is absolutely a gorgeous museum. A little expensive to get in, $10 a head plus $4 for kids. But so far it has just proved to be worth the money. There is a saddle. I bet you I couldn't even lift that thing. Okay, this is some fabulous beadwork, really detailed beadwork. Let's see if I can get in here and see if we can see it. It's all beadwork, and there's a picture of the boy that was wearing it. Let's see if this says anything here. Transition. There's a dress right there, just beautiful beadwork done on it. Lots and lots of hours put into that one. This is what we just went through, the Buffalo Bill Historical Center. And there's a bronze statue here of Buffalo Bill. at one time was said to be the best known American in the world.
Now this is a place that I always wanted to visit. Custer's Last Stand, or the Battle of Little Bighorn. Fascinating to me. We drove all through the park and I learned a great deal about our history.
This area was occupied troops A, B, D, G, H, and K, and the 7th U.S. Cavalry and pack trains when they were besieged by the Sioux.
On June 25, 1876, the Sioux possible to the village and attack at dawn on the 26th. Custer's main concern was that the Indians would elude the army. Expecting no more than 800 warriors, Custer formed the regiment in...
To give you an idea of the landscape of where the Reno-Benteen troops made a stand and then retreated across the river through those trees, from those trees back up to this ridge. They were badly battered. They could hear a battle going on distance away where Custer met his. That's about 4 or 5 miles north of this stand of hills right here. Down below is where Reno and Benteen crossed the river up to this hillside. Apparently the Sioux village was on the other side of the river and they had to retreat across the river. As you can see it right down there. That is the Little Bighorn. And they were badly mauled and retreated up here for defense. This U.S. soldier was not discovered, the body was not discovered until 1958. This is the battle on June 25th or 26th, 1876. We were at Sharpshooter's Ridge. The Indians laid up here and poured fire into the Reno-Benteen position from this point. Earlier, Custer had gone down this ravine at full gallop with his troops and headed north, and it was about 5 miles from here that he was brought up short. Okay, this is Weir Point, and this is where some of the troops last saw Custer as he rode north of us here, and where the Indians finally caught up with him. Beginning to see tombstones, or markers where bodies were found of the troops as we move closer to Custer's Last Stand. And these are either troops that are killed while trying to get to the point or escaping from the point. Tombstones, and in the background there is the memorial to Custer's Last Stand and a large cemetery there. Now, up on the hillside is the monument marking, let's see, where is it? Right there? Yeah, there it is. The high point. And it's interesting how they're tracing the movement of troops by the firing pin markers on shell casing. It's very okay. This is more body markers or tombstone heads, or this is Calhoun Hill, and soldiers, scouts, civilians are buried around the base of this memorial. This is the memorial of troopers that fell in this area. Area where the majority of bodies are found, but they're bodies, actually body markers, scattered throughout this memorial area. This is a heavy concentrate of bodies found here. Now established out here.
2000 up to 90 was the cemetery, like I was starting out saving private line.
He is identified, they think, the body of General Custer was going to try to skin. The battery was going dead. I don't know whether I got it or not, but this is supposedly where the body of General Custer was found. Now, he is not buried here. He was moved to a military cemetery
In West Point.
at West Point.
Yeah. Really like to hear people want to talk to the rangers right now.
Beautiful painting. Very all. It shows them centered around a hilltop, and that's proven pretty much of a myth. And you know, Custer was one of the last to go. They never know for sure. From the latest findings of metal casings, the command was pretty well scattered around this hill. The grave site of Marcus Reno, who survived the battle, died in 1889. Stone of a soldier that received the Medal of Honor, died in January of 1877. Okay. Medal of Honor. That's a symbol there. And it's Bernard McCann. Now there is a sign as we leave this RV park that just absolutely is worth reading. It says, "Step up, antenna down, wife on board." All the important things, right? Talk to you later. Bye. What I wanted to do is get a picture of Devil's Tower way out in the distance. It's about 5-6 miles away. It stands 800 feet high. And I can zoom in on it, of course, but just to give you an idea, it does stand out. Just a big piece of rock sticking up in the air, and we're headed for it. It's another shot of Devil's Tower as we get a little bit closer, but you can get a idea that it's a solid piece of rock sticking straight up. And there are some mountains in the background over to the left. But nothing like that one little dome. By the way, the dome is a 1.5 acres across at the top. What we have here right beside the car is a prairie dog. And this is a prairie dog community, and it's supposedly quite entertaining to watch. He's just standing up looking around.
There's about...
Little guys are all over the little place here. Oh, you can hear them make noises too. This guy's still just sitting here enjoying life. At the past the ranger station and in the park, and we're at the base of the tower. It looks like they had a forest fire through here recently. And the tower itself is still quite impressive, so we're going to drive up to the RV parking area. Well, we're up close. We're at the base of it. Found a nice parking area for the trailer. And there's a trail that goes around the base of this thing, and I think we're going to hike the trail. So, but it's interesting that it's pillar-like, almost like at Devil's Post Pile. They show you the pillars on that thing, go a long ways up. I don't know whether you can see them or not, but there is a mountain climber there, and there's one above him. There's the mountain climber again, and above him is the second mountain climber. We're going to try and zoom in on him again. Looks like he's still resting. Oh, he just moved. Going up to the next notch above, working his way up. At the base, and below is a bunch of debris that has fallen from the tower. People have climbed up the debris a little ways there. The pillars seem to be 4-sided and not 6-sided like in Devil's Post Pile. A trail around the base of it. I don't know how far we're going to go, but they do have a little paved trail that goes around the base of it. All right, one guy has made it up to the top of one of the pillars. See if I can pick him up. There he is. We're still on the about halfway around, and rocky, but it's getting a little more shady on this side. Right close to the trail, just nibbling away. And everybody gets really excited when they see a deer in the woods. Oh, we completed our trip to Devil's Tower, and we're now heading out of the park, and I just wanted to get a shot how it turns from this color of landscape to red rock over here. And you can see the red rock surrounding the area. I want you to understand that this is totally a mistake on both our parts, but Ian is dragging me along on top of the back of a horse. Small pony that seems to be following one of us around, and Dorothea is over there, and she's not going to go riding with us. She isn't as foolish as we are. We're having fun. Mr. Ian, you still alive up there? Yeah. Well, this is being taken from the back of a horse, and so the picture's not too steady. But it's pretty countryside, and at least it's cooler here in the shade of the trees than out there in the open, because it's pretty warm out, close to 90. We've stopped to rest my rear end a little bit, and you can see the countryside, and we started a nice run. There's Ian up there, having fun. Don't wave like you did to me in that one shot. Colt that's following Ian. It's been following its mother most of the trip. And we're almost there. It's either that or my knees are about to give out. Our meeting in downtown Deadwood, South Dakota. And the streets are just absolutely filled with all sorts of characters and Corvettes. I mean, really just Corvettes up and down the street, all blocked off. I mean, this is literally hundreds of them here. This is supposedly where Bill Hickok got shot by a local drifter. All right, Ian wanted me to get a picture of this Corvette because it said Blondie on it. And as you can see, the streets are just filled with Corvettes all the way down the line, and people are just walking up and down. Just all sorts of fun going on. Okay, here's a couple of dudes dressed up like Wild Bill and somebody else. And they have a shootout here periodically. Reenactment of catching the guy that shot Wild Bill.
Bill was in town, Jack. See him over there? Huh? What's up, Benjamin? Hey! Like a real policeman. Hickok, maybe you ain't heard.
These two guys are picking the fight. And we're waiting for them to go for it.
Look at this.
Hey, Bill!
I'll give the money.
Alright, that has to be one of the brightest rainbows I've ever seen. This is over a old Catholic schoolyard, but it is just a gorgeous rainbow. See if I can get the whole thing up there. It goes up until the clouds end up above. It is spectacular. There's Peggy bringing Dick back into the cubby hole. There's the license plate I like. And of course, yes, I can zoom in on it and get it better. It's very impressive from a distance. That's about as far as I'm going to zoom in on. And we'll go walk up to where we're supposed to walk up to. Mount Rushmore National Monument. Very, very picturesque walking into this place. We're headed for the Avenue of the Flag. Avenue of the Flags. And up above is the statues, carvings, whatever you want to call it. Very fast. Just tourists upon tourists, all at the base of the mountain. And as we get closer, those things get exceedingly more impressive. Now, I'm going to use the zoom here and see just how impressive that is. Thomas Jefferson, Woodrow Wilson, or Teddy Roosevelt, I'm not sure which. We'll find that out, and Abraham Lincoln. There's my buddy. He's so self-conscious, and there's, isn't your picture right up there along with everybody else's? Should be. You're very famous, you know that? It's the rocky formations here are solid granite all over the place. We're on the road to Crazy Horse, and here is a shot where you can just see George Washington alone up on the hillside there. The road that we're going on is very picturesque, heavily wooded, heavily granite. This is a 1/300th model, 1/300th of an inch model to the mountain behind us here. It is being carved. The base up there is 85 feet high and still under construction. Okay, we're getting out and closer to it. See the outline of the head, and the arm is going to be across the top here. And there's the face.
Yeah, I've been through out of the figure right.
Right here is a picture of some bighorn sheep or rams, and you can see their horns pretty good. Waiting for them to lift their head.
You don't even have the damn thing open.
Oh, look at that puppy. Oh my God.
Buffalo covering the road, stopping traffic. And this is Custer State Park, South Dakota. We're under some large boulders looking up at the base of George Washington and Lincoln. Oh, that's a good picture there.
No, Dad. No.
This is the rubble at the bottom of the
How would you get back up, Keith? How would you get back up if you got
and there is President Lincoln
Yes.
right there. And I understand the eyes are supposed to be.
Now look at I didn't realize
See if I
that
can
you
hold
could
it still.
see Abe and George and not the other two.
Are you having a good time? Okay, Dorothea wants to get a good picture. Okay. They now have the lights turn on bright, and should turn out pretty good. Let's see. Okay, it's quite dark outside. There are 4 presidents. As seen in the dark. All right, we're at the park entrance to the Badlands. You can just see the trim of the rock formations, or dirt formations, or land formations, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to be driving through. The area that we have just traveled through is called the grasslands. It was extremely flat, rolling, and it looked like it could support a huge amount of buffalo. The idea behind us, the land that we came through, is just grassy and open, and cattle. Well, the young hiker of our group, Mr. Ian, is about to climb up this hillside here. There's absolutely no vegetation on this erosion area. As you can see, there's a lot of people up on there, so we'll see if he makes it up to the top of the peak. But it does give you an idea that there's just simply this tremendous amount of erosion of lands and no vegetation on the hillsides there is down in the flatlands below. This is the beginnings of the Badlands of South Dakota. Working his way up there. See if we can go in and get a close shot of him climbing. Mounting his way up the hillside. Making progress. He's getting near the top. He's having to work at it. Whoops. Goes. Working at it. He's getting there. He's almost to the peak. And over the ridge. There he is. He's still finding trails. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. I think he's gonna find another way, and what he's trying to do is work his way over to that one right there. I hope he doesn't try and climb that one. Across from the visitor center, get an idea of how the mountains are just vegetation free, and yet down here on the plains below it is a lot of beautiful rock formations. All right, there's the lone Indian up there all by himself on the mountaintop. Yeah, hello Ian, how you doing? Come on back. Well, I really didn't know what to expect in the Badlands, and you can see these grassy fields, but then you see this ravine right beside us and how the landscape changes. It's quite fascinating. And Ian and I are going to go on a helicopter ride in a few minutes, at least we hope to, and get to see this from the air. Going up to see some prairie dogs and also sod houses. This was a homestead stake where they received 160 acres by homesteading it and improving upon the land. And it looks like he is trying to feed prairie dogs. Did I see a prairie dog? Here's a prairie dog.
Well, here goes the old mountain goat who's going to be 63 years old next month, and he conquered this hill. I think he's crazy, but that's all right. And he's waving. Well, Grandpa and Ian hooked up with each other, and I think they might be on their way down. Who knows?
This is a picture of how the grassland up here, the plains, come to an abrupt end, and the topsoil has been washed away, and it washes away the rest of the land. But it is just surrounded with grassy plains until you hit these deep canyons. This is just another viewpoint where you can see everything, but I thought I'd take a picture down to where that motorhome is, and you can see how the rock formation is actually a different color than the rest of the formation there. Interesting road just weaves in and out of the Badlands of South Dakota. We're in Wall, South Dakota, and this is a drugstore that started out years ago. It was going bust. They started to advertise free ice water, and since then added humorous advertisement signs around the country, and now employs almost 1/3 of the entire population in Wall, South Dakota. Fabulous. I mean, there's about 9 or 10 entrances to this place. It's so big, and to walk through it is an experience. This is inside the Walls drugstore, one of the many little cubby holes and little side stores and everything else. Quite amazing. There's a chap with this picture. I mean, there is something definitely wrong with this picture. Something a little bit wrong with this picture, and I think one of the things is the chief here. It just doesn't look like the chief, and that doesn't look like Nellie Sue hanging out of the back of the deal there. But as long as they're happy, I ain't gonna disturb them. Throw them some peanuts, they'll be happy. This is the T-Rex at Wall Drugs. They're free ice water. This is what they started advertising, oh, I don't know, 1937 or something like that, when they first started this thing. Absolutely don't know whether this is any relation to anyone in my family, but it is a big hairy mammoth. Minus a few pieces of skin and bone, or skin and fur. We're in a mammoth site in Hot Springs, South Dakota, headed for Wyoming and Cheyenne area.
This photo was taken by Dick and Peggy Jones, friends of ours, in an RV park in Rapid City, South Dakota, on the day of the accident. I have included several photographs at the end of the video that is here. The video is uncut. The following video is taken at a scene of an accident, July 18th, 2000, south of Lusk, Wyoming. We were struck by a large truck, and after bringing the car to a halt, I jumped out, ran back, turned off the gas to the propane tanks to prevent an explosion, returned to the car, had my wife dial 911, and I picked up the camcorder and started recording the scene of the accident.
We're crossing from South Dakota into Wyoming, and Ian wanted a picture of walking across the border between the two countries. As you can see, the states, and the gray to the red rock is the state line right there. By a truck coming onto the highway that did not stop, and it has scattered stuff all over the highway. Ian, see if the cell phone works. As we can see, the side of our trailer is destroyed, and somebody is... Ian, did you see if the cell phone works? Does it work? What's this wrong? Huh?
The truck was coming out of the haul road and hit the southbound on the highway.
so sorry.
It'll be okay. At least everybody walked away.
Company. I certainly hope they have decent insurance. And we'll get some names.
Just a hair to get off to the side, and then we'll try to open back up.
Okay, sounds good.
This is the inside of our trailer. We were just hit by a semi-truck or a convoy, and it's destroyed just about everything on the right side. And I can barely even walk around in here. It's destroyed so much. Everything's falling out of the bathroom, all over the floor, bananas everywhere. I can't even get to the other half of the trailer because it's so destroyed and messed up. Jeez. See, everything's pretty much destroyed. Lots of stuff falling out of the cabinets, movies destroyed. There's the part of the table. Presents everywhere. But everything is really, really badly destroyed.
Highway Patrol is here, and what I'm doing now is going to take pictures of the skid marks. I was able to drag the trailer off the road. The skid mark out here is the stopping point for the trailer, and the rest of the way is where I drug the trailer. So, see, get a shot of that. And I would say the distance I had to drag the trailer off the highway is probably about 40 feet. Towing service is now here. The time is 4 p.m. In Wyoming time. Through the skid marks as I tried to control the vehicle, finally pulling it over to the side of the road. Down where the flashing light is where the lady actually came out of the intersection and nailed me on the highway. Her name is Tammy, and she has already admitted that she has not seen it. You can see that there is a huge long distance of visibility, probably more than a half a mile in either direction. We were southbound on the highway. I was able to keep control of the car and the trailer from turning over. A gouge into the asphalt right here where something dragged some piece of metal, either from the trailer or otherwise. From the markings on the road here, I would say this is probably right about where I got hit. She came out without even looking or slowing down. It is a dirt side road. It's a large construction project. A lot of heavy trucking through here. Say that from this road right here, that the point of impact was right about her. I did have to swerve to try and avoid her. There was no oncoming traffic. Apparently missed the car by about 4 feet and got the right front corner of the trailer. The highway is dry, bright sunlight, distant clouds. Visibility in both directions was excellent. Driver simply was not concentrating or didn't see us or whatever. And so far all I have is that her name is Tammy. And I guess that's about it for right now. We're going to go into hospital and have Dorothea checked out because of her heart condition. And also Ian was sleeping, and when the jar of the truck hitting the trailer side, turning the car sideways, he hit his head, I believe, on the door of the car. Vacation, at least we're alive and we're okay.
The following are photos taken at the scene of the accident. The truck struck right about where the propane tanks are, where the trailer is connected to the car, turning both the trailer and the car almost 45 degrees of each other. The impact of the force was so great that the rear axle was torn off of the trailer. There's twin axles on that. One was torn loose. When I had safely brought the vehicle to a stop, I jumped out, ran back, and the first thing I did was turn off the propane tanks. I was afraid of an explosion. I then returned to the vehicle. My wife dialed 911. I picked up the camcorder and recorded the scene at the accident. The impact was so powerful that at that time my wife had been thrown against the side of the window of the car and struck her head, and Ian received a bump on his head. He was laying down in the back seat. That is an 18-wheel fully loaded gravel truck, so the force was great. That shows the skid marks. Why the trailer and the car did not turn over, I do not know. I was able to bring it safely to a stop, drag it to the side of the road. That is pictures there of a stop sign that the young lady wrote. This is a T intersection. She never slowed down when she was entering that intersection, thus driving into us. We had considerable damage to the inside of the trailer. We had to actually ask for help from the trucking company to load personal things into a rented U-Haul so that we could bring at least some personal things home. We lost over $200 worth of fresh groceries in that day also. We had to drive home at a very slow rate. It took us 5 days to drive only 1,500 miles. My wife was in pain and was required to lay down in the back seat of the car. I had to stop periodically and just stretch my muscles because I was in pain too. It was later determined that the truck had also actually struck the back of the car, as we found paint smudges on there, and the alignment had been put out of whack, and that was determined by a mechanic in Tarrington, just south of where the accident occurred.
Well, we're home. Today's July 25th, and it's about 10 minutes to 2, and we left with a $18,000 travel trailer and came home with a U-Haul called Yui.